What's up, y'all? My name is Holly. Welcome to Traumedy Hour. Hey guys, how's it going? I am good. Thanks for asking. I'm sitting here at home on a Sunday afternoon. I went hiking this morning and I had a lot of time to think and let the wheels spin in my head. So I was like, I should share some of that. TBH, I was thinking about continuing the conversation about what I was discussing in the last two episodes, which is the toxic culture of dating and sex and assault and dynamics between men and women. I still have a lot to say, which is not surprising whatsoever. However, I really want to pause on that conversation until I can have a man on the other half of it to counterpoint with me. So I'm thinking that the timing is actually perfect because my brother Michael is moving close to me in a couple of weeks. Him and his wife are going to be moving to Washington. They're going to live pretty close. So my plan is to invite Michael to be a guest on my podcast, to have him as the male counterpoint of the conversation, because it honestly feels boring sometimes to just talk about everything by myself, especially when it's a topic that like involves a lot of opinions about a people group that I'm not a part of. I'm not a part of the male group of people that have dicks, so I can't fully understand what the fuck is going on. I think it would be really interesting to have my brother a part of the conversation. One, because our chemistry is organic and already like there because we're siblings and we grew up together, if that wasn't obvious already. And two, because Michael's super fucking smart and quick and he is a deep thinker. He's well read and he just understands things. He's 2 years younger than me, but honestly, he's probably more woke than me. So I think it would be interesting and fun for me to have my little brother as my first guest on my podcast. So stay tuned for that because I don't think the conversation's over. And I have like a lot of things I want to talk about, exploring the solutions to these problems, because I don't know if you're feeling the same way I am, which is I feel overwhelmed by the amount of problems that do not have any tangible solutions to them right now in our society. So that bothers me. And I think I would like to explore what could possibly be some ideas for making the world better, making the world safer for women, making the world more safe for men to share their feelings. I think there are still a lot of aspects that need to be discussed in regards to that topic. I just don't want to keep doing it by myself. So I'm going to wait until I have my brother here. And I haven't even asked him yet, but I know that he wants to be on the podcast because we had talked a while ago about him and I discussing religion together, which we might do that also. We like to shoot the shit. So maybe I'll have my brother come on here and we can talk about that and religion and whatever. So table that. The other things that I was thinking about, what was I thinking about on my hike today? I I was self-diagnosing myself as bipolar. I don't know if I am. I have not been clinically diagnosed, but I sometimes feel like it. And I've been pondering my mental illnesses and the condition of my noggin because let me just stop you know what I noticed when I edit these fucking podcast episodes? I'm constantly justifying what I'm saying. This is an automatic response that comes from my upbringing. And I think also it's a little cultural. Women need to have a reason to like speak. I constantly catch myself saying, because I said something on Instagram the other day where I said, oh, I just left therapy because I need therapy. And it's like, what? Who fucking has to justify that? So I want to stop saying because of what? Like, I don't have to fucking explain anything. So I'm working on it. I don't need to justify why I want to do something. That's so fucking annoying. I'm frustrated with that because it's an automatic response that I'm working on. I think that what was I fucking saying before I started ranting about justifying what I'm saying? I spend too much time thinking about my mental health because I feel mentally ill, and I'm laughing because it's not funny. It's very weird to just like matter of fact be like, I think that I'm mentally ill. I have brain problems. Like, my brain doesn't work the way that the good Lord intended it. And I spend too much time thinking about that because there I go again, because I think I do this to soothe myself. If I can just understand it, then it won't feel so scary. That's partially true. Like, I do want to understand myself, and then I won't be so scared. However, there is a balance, and I went down a fucking spiral last night Googling if I'm bipolar. I was reading, honestly, this is how these spirals go for me. So I was just scrolling through Instagram. I saw an article about one of Tom Hanks's sons, Chet. Never heard of this person in my life. I literally just found out about him yesterday. So Tom Hanks has a black sheep of a son named Chester. I think his real name is Chester, but he goes by Chet. And Chet is tatted. He thinks he's like a white rapper. He calls himself the black sheep of the Hanks family. So I was spiraling out reading about this guy. I was like, Tom Hanks has a black sheep of a son. I'm shooketh. And then I went down the like Tom Hanks Wikipedia. I was reading about his whole life and his first marriage before Rita Wilson. I basically know the lineage of Tom Hanks's family, but that doesn't matter. Anyways, in my reading about their family, it came up about somebody has bipolar disorder. So then I clicked on the link and I was like, it's been a while since I read about the symptoms of bipolar disorder. I like to stay abreast of all the mental illnesses. So then I started reading about it and reading about the different types of bipolar disorder and the different intensity. And I was like, I see myself in here. I see my brain. My brain is saying, that's you. I don't know if that is a true fact or not. I'm not a mental health care professional. I do not have the credentials to diagnose myself, nor would I ever try to. But I'm just explaining how this spiral came about last night. And then I spent a lot of time. I literally stayed up past my bedtime reading about bipolar disorder and the behaviors, and then I went on some other links to some other disorders. The fact that I spent my Saturday night researching mental illness, I think in and of itself indicates there's something wrong with me. I'm laughing because I don't think it's not that serious to me. Like, in my mind, everybody's fucking mentally ill, and I'm just another one of y'all crazy people. So I think the world is so fucked up. How can we get through it without something being wrong? Like, how can I just think it's so fucking hard to exist that some of us end up with a chemical imbalance. Many of us end up with addictions, and that filling of the void with alcohol, drugs, food, sex, shopping, excessive exercise, excessive productivity. Like, I can't think of a single person who doesn't have some type of vice that they spend too much time on. Going down a rabbit hole on the Hanks family, for example. I'm just kidding. Like, spending hours on social media, obsessing over social media, obsessing over the gym and macros. Like, I think anything can become an addiction that if it gets out of control. And it can get out of control if we use anything outside of us to meet our internal needs. This is not an accusation. I am 100% on the human side of this. I have things that I overconsume because I'm filling the void. Like, I still actively have issues with that. I'm certainly not proclaiming perfection or trying to like pave the way for anyone else. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know how to solve all these problems. I'm just going to share with you as I go. I'm just living and sharing it, which is super embarrassing. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I like this? Anyways, I'm just saying I have issues too. I'm working on them. This is why I go to therapy. This is why I talk to my friends. This is why I work it out on the fucking internet in front of everyone. It's just like, we're all fucked up, okay? Can we just stop pretending? I saw some social media influencer yesterday. I try really hard to avoid people who are not being real. Anyone who projects some type of perfect life, like, get the fuck out of here. You're blocked. I know that's not real, and I don't have time for that. I'm not, like, if I wanted to go to the circus, I would have bought a ticket, okay? If I wanted to see your bullshit show, I would have bought front row tickets, okay? I do not think it's healthy to watch people play out their lives on the internet when they're pretending that everything's great, because it's literally not for anyone ever. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. Sometimes it's good, but like, I saw somebody yesterday, their whole Instagram account and their TikTok account. I'm like, this is not real. And it's super toxic to project this into the world. We have enough of this. We got way too much of the fake stuff. Anyways, I'm going to get upset about that and start ranting. Holly, pump the brakes. Skirt. Let's just stop. I'm not going to go down the social media influencer thing. But to counter that, I'm bringing mental illness and honesty to the internet on purpose because this is real, okay? This is real life. I'm not going to tell you guys all of my issues. I'll tell you after I figure them out. But anyways, I'm really irritating myself. So let's move on. What else is going on? I've actually been exploring my style and kind of rebranding myself. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So last week, or I guess it was like a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago, something like that. In the last couple weeks, I decided it was time to finally let go of the clothes that have been piling up in my closet for over a decade. I used to work at Nordstrom headquarters, which means I had a Nordstrom discount, and I worked for the website, which means I was looking at Nordstrom.com all day, every day for like 3 fucking years. Thus, I have a lot of clothing and a lot of shoes. I spent a lot of money shopping the sale rack with a discount at Nordstrom. A bitch loves to save $1, and I went overboard with everything that I purchased. So this was years and years and years worth. I haven't worked at Nordstrom for a long time, so that should tell you something. All these clothes from before I worked there, when I worked there, after I worked there, I just have clothes. I have so many, too many things I haven't worn in years. I literally have the dress that I wore on my 24th birthday. I just turned 34. So I was like, you know what? Let's just say goodbye, Holly. First things first. All of these items are no longer in style. So RIP, I'm old enough that my clothes have gone out of style. Second thing, my body has changed. I don't fit in like 90% of the shit that's in my closet. I had this issue in January when I had to go to a wedding. I tried on every goddamn fucking dress in my closet and not a single one of them fit, so I had to go buy some more. And instead of like doing what I've been doing for the last 10 years, which is, oh, just lose some weight and then all of this will fit. Well, it's been 10 years. So I think it's time. I think it's time to just upgrade. Anyways, all of this happened in the last couple weeks. I went through all of my clothing, which I have separated and color coordinated and organized. I have jackets, I have sweaters, dresses, pants, tops, whatever. I have drawers of stuff. I have racks of shoes. I went through every fucking thing that I own, and I dumped 4 trash bags of clothing, full to the top. And then I filled a bag with all the hangers. So I have 4 bags of clothes and 1 bag of hangers. They're actually still in my hallway because I didn't get to that part where I actually donate the bags. One of the bags went in the garbage because everything was so, like, you know, the elastic is starting to go or the threads are starting to go. If it was too old to re-wear, I just threw it away. And anything else I have in a bag in the hallway still. So if you guys want my clothes, let me know. TBH, I haven't donated them because I don't want to give them to a for-profit like Goodwill. I want to give them to a women's shelter, and I need to find a women's shelter that will take them. So if you know one, let me know. Anyways, I did all this because I want to rebrand myself. I'm like finding my style as I'm going to be 35 this year. And I want to present myself in a way that feels comfortable for me. The last couple of years, I've just been wearing athleisure. Thank God that came into style. I wear, like, literally every single day, I just wear workout leggings and a t-shirt and a sweater. I do not have to get dressed up for anything. I don't have to dress up for work. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't go on dates. Like, I don't go out. I mean, if I go to a concert, I'll put on jeans and a top. It's not a big deal. Anyways, I just was like, I think I would like to reduce the size of my closet. I want to be a little bit more minimalistic. I want a few good pieces that I can mix and match that fit me, that are in style for a little bit, or that are kind of like neutral fashion, that, you know, like white t-shirt. When's that ever going to go out of style? So I'm kind of on that journey right now. I'm going to get rid of all these bags. I bought some new things from Nordstrom to try on. And today I was like, I don't know. I expressing myself is super important to me. That's why I have tattoos. That's why I've changed my hair every fucking year of my life. That's like why I mean, I've always been pretty expressive. I like to express myself in music and writing, in the car that I drive. I'm very, very driven towards expressing myself publicly, in case you didn't notice. So I would like to express myself in the way that I dress, and I don't feel like I've been doing that. I've kind of been dressing for practicality and comfort, and like, so this is how it goes in my head. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym at 3:00 today. I might as well just wear gym clothes all day because I have I have nowhere else to go. I'm going to be sitting at my desk all day, and then I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to get sweaty, and then I'm going to come home and take those clothes off. Like, might as well just have one outfit for the day. So I'll just wear athleisure. I'll just wear my actual gym clothes all day. It's been working for the most part, except I just don't, I'm over it. I'm kind of getting over it, even though I'm still perpetuating that fashion statement of athleisure. It's not even athleisure. It's like actually gym clothes. So I don't know. I'm in the middle of figuring this out. I don't have the answers. But today on my hike, I was like, I am a cowgirl. I'm actually a country bumpkin in disguise. You'd never know that I spent the first 11 years of my life in the Midwest. I rode horses. I helped my friend with her farm. I've literally, you know, shoveled the stables, and I've ridden horses. I was a big horse girl. And I've like collected eggs from the chicken coop. I've been around like farm animals, cows, chickens, goats, ducks, whatever. And I love country life. And my heart has always been like drawn towards having my own land, having my own animals. If you handed me $1 million right now, that's the first thing I would do is buy land and put some animals on it. So it's there. I just don't think I've ever had the opportunity to live the country life. And I've been in the city for the last 10 years. Oh my gosh, my anniversary of moving to Seattle is this Thursday. I moved to Seattle 10 years ago from Southern California. So I've lived the beach life. Now I'm living the Pacific Northwest life in the big city. And, you know, I've been to most of the big West Coast hotspots. Haven't been to the East Coast, so don't fucking ask. San Francisco, Los Angeles, blah, blah, blah. I've seen enough at this point in my life that I'm like, I really feel at home in the country, on the mountainside, on land, with animals. I love a good cowboy boot and a fucking boot cut Wrangler. And I actually secretly was looking at cowboy boots for myself. This is the first time I'm saying this out loud, so this might surprise you. I was like, I kind of want them. And they make nice cowboy boots for girls. They make really nice leather cowboy boots, or, you know, pleather or whatever the fuck. And I was looking at some. I haven't pulled the trigger. No, not yet. No cowboy boots in my closet, but today I'm like, I want to rebrand as like a country cowgirl that also spent time in the city and like has an office job. Maybe like a cowboy boot cardigan combo. I'm not sure how this is going to play out, but I already have like plaid shirts and denim, and like I'm halfway there, and I wear these every fucking day when I walk my dog. We go to this huge 50-acre field. I wear my big like water mud snow boots that come up to my knees, and I'm just like, yes, fuck yeah. I feel like I'm living on the farm right now. I get so pumped, and I'm like bird watching, and I like to, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. All that to say that I think I'm going to rebrand as like a Seatown cowgirl. If you're new here, a nickname for Seattle is Seatown. I'm partially joking, but also partially not. I feel old school country roots. Yeah, on my way home, I was like the whole drive today to and from the hiking, I was listening to Merle Haggard, and I like to listen to Willie Nelson and Patsy Cline and Loretta Lynn. I love an old school country bumpkin life. I really do. And I've always like secretly hoped that I'll end up with someone who's like country and has like land. So then that goal's already like achieved before I get there. If not, I'll just do it myself. I'll buy my own land, and I want a horse, although they say you should have two. Horses get lonely. I want some dogs. I want some goats. I want chickens. This is what I've always wanted. But I live in a place and a time when achieving my goals is very unlikely, because I was raised by boomers, and boomers fucked it up for my generation. So especially where I came from, very like poverty stricken, no resources. I was born in the red. So for me to get to zero, I've just made it to zero, and I'm like about to be, you know, I'm in my mid 30s, and I just got to break even. So for people who maybe like were born at the break even, I wasn't. I was born in the negative. It took me 35 years to get to the break even. So now I can work towards my goals. By the time I have enough money to buy land, and by the time I can afford the fucking outrageous price of land, it might possibly be too late for me. I might be 50 years old before I can buy it, because I cannot compete with the housing market that our boomers have created for us. I will not be taking comments on the economy, because it is what it is. The generations before us and all the corporations in power have set this up for us, and it doesn't cost $15,000 to buy a house. If I want to buy a house where I am right now, I need at least a $500,000 budget, and I need at least like 30 to 40% down. I can't, like, if I don't have $500,000 with 30% down, there's literally no point in me even trying, because I cannot compete with the people that are buying. Like, they will outbid. Yeah, so I don't know if I'll ever get to be the cowgirl that I dream of being. I follow this like cowgirl on TikTok. She lives in Montana, which is where I would love to live. I would love to live in Montana. Maybe, well, I mean, even prices out there, like the whole fucking country, everything's going up. So I don't know. Maybe I'll never get to live this out, but I can still dream. A girl can dream. And I could still work towards that goal and just find out. I'll find out if I can buy land. I'll let you guys know. I don't know which of my dreams are actually achievable, but it doesn't actually matter, because at the end of the day, nothing matters. I have this thought all the time where it's like, well, I guess not all the time. It's kind of recent. It's since my road trip in January. I took a road trip and I spent a lot of time thinking about, philosophical BS, where I'm like, what actually is the point of all this? What the fuck are we actually doing? Because I think about people who are super religious and like people who have all these things going on. They're just like doing their thing, and everyone's doing something different, and everyone thinks that what they're doing is the right way. And so on my road trip with all this time by myself, I was like, what actually is the point? Because I spent a lot of time ahead of that trip on an anxiety spiral about the current health crisis in this country. And I'm like, I'm driving into Southern California. There's like a fucking peak happening right now because y'all couldn't chill for the holidays. So everyone got sick at the holidays, and it was spiking when I was on my road trip. And I was having a lot of anxiety about getting sick. Because then I'm like, well, then I'm going to be sick and I'm not going to feel good and I can't see anyone. And I'll have to turn around and go home, and this will be a waste of a fucking vacation. Anyways, I spent time on the way home after that anxiety spiral just really thinking like what a waste of time it was to be stressed out about that, and like how much time I personally waste just stressing out about stuff that actually doesn't matter in the end. So it's kind of like life does matter, things matter, people matter, but also kind of we don't. It doesn't. It's a little bit of both, both are true, because I believe when we die, it's nothing. It's absolute peace and freedom and nothingness. And your spirit is no longer here on earth. Your body is done. It was a vessel carrying your spirit, and your spirit's done. Like, you're done. It's over. Like, I don't believe that there is an afterlife. I don't believe that we go to heaven or hell. I'm not trying to upset anyone. I'm just telling you what I actually think. So this informs my day-to-day life, because I believe that. I think how we believe life ends and where we go, does that not inform how we choose to live? I don't know. Like, how could it not? Are people out there living without considering where they're going to go? Do people live their life without thinking about what the point is? That would be crazy. I think about it every fucking day. But I'm also mentally ill, so who fucking knows, dude? Every day of my life, I think about what the point of all this is. On some level. I don't spiral out. Sometimes I'm just like driving along and I'm like, none of this matters. It's interesting because I see people, I personally have seen people amass great wealth and hold on to it. And they have more money than they can spend in their lifetime. And I see them not spending it. And I'm like, what are you doing? What is the point? What's the point of sitting on $15 million? For what? You're going to be fucking dead in 10 years. Get to living or get busy dying. You know how they say? I don't know where I'm going with all this. I'm just saying, ultimately, a lot of the bullshit in our day-to-day life does not fucking matter. And it's up to us to paint that canvas with what actually matters and to pursue it. But I guess then we come back around. Here I go with my philosophical loops that I get in, my little holding pattern of thinking, okay, people who don't think that, people who think that there is a God and a heaven and a place that we go after all of this, those people are also working towards their goal of getting to sit in heaven. Why is it intrinsically tied to what other people are doing, though? That's so whack to me. I don't know. I need to talk about this with my brother at some point when I can have dialogue and not a monologue, because I end up in these mental loops of like, I don't actually think any of this matters that fucking much. I think we have an overinflated sense of like the purpose of human life. What if this was all a fucking accident and the purpose of our life is to just live? Would that be so bad? What's wrong with that? Why is that so bad? Is it because we're uncomfortable not knowing like what the point is? We need something to work towards? I don't know. I have no clue. I wasted the first 25 years of my life thinking that God created me and everyone else and the earth, and it was my job to get everyone to believe in God so that we could go to heaven with him after either we die or the rapture happens. So either one could come first. The rapture was supposed to happen a few times when I was alive, and it never did because it's not real. Fake news. But also, like, I don't know how we've made it this long with belief systems where our personal afterlife is predicated on the decisions of other people. This is one of the main issues I have with religion, even though I keep saying I'm not going to go down the religious rabbit hole. I will get into this in more detail later. But why do I have to join your religion for it to work for you? That, I don't get it. Because this is what Christians in particular think. I can't speak to a lot of other religion because I don't know enough. A lot of Christians believe that they need to save everyone else's soul. That's what Jesus wants. You want the jewel in your crown. Every saved soul is a jewel in your own crown. Why? Why does my fucking choice affect your afterlife? It shouldn't. That seems wrong. That seems off. Something's off. A screw is loose. Pull over. We've got a flat. I don't know. I'm just like, what the fuck? And I grew up in that environment. I remember the day. I remember the exact moment that I was sitting in church. It was a Sunday night service, and I was in the very back row. This is right after my fiance had cheated on me with one of the pastor's daughters. Everybody fucking knew. Everybody was talking about it. I'm sitting in the back row, and I'm listening to another pastor preach about how we need to invite our friends to church. And I was like, why do we start every service like this with the like, invite your friends? And I'm sitting there thinking this actively in the moment. I'm thinking, invite my friends here for what? So that when shit goes south in their life, you put them in the back row in the shadows and you don't fucking talk to them? You guys aren't here for me. Why the fuck would I invite anyone else here? I went off the rails in my mind. In real life, I was just sitting there quietly listening. But in my mind, I was going off the rails. And I'm like, this is the last time that I ever come here and sit and listen to a service. And I'm never going to ask my friends to be a part of this religion. And I hadn't actually like ever converted anyone, really. I just was a confused child. Anyways, why am I talking about this? I don't know. These are the things that I think about. This is also like why I think I have mental illness, because I can't fucking relax. Fun fact about me, I've never been relaxed ever. If you are not aware, that's from TikTok. Anyways, yeah, that's kind of, I was just talking about rebranding myself as a C-Town cowgirl, and now I'm talking about what the purpose of life is and what I believe. I don't think we can know. I want to say this before I get on to the next topic, because I know people have different spiritual beliefs, and I have very strong resistance to much of it. But I will say that I don't think any of us can know for sure. I just don't think we can know. I really don't believe the human mind has the capability to comprehend life after death. And I don't think that we have what it takes to comprehend the purpose of life, if there even is one. And if there is or there isn't, like, what does it matter? We're literally YOLO, dude. You get one fucking round at this. Like, live it. I don't know. Part of me wants to say, like, live it up, but I also don't want you guys shooting heroin in an alley, because that's not a way to live up your life. What am I fucking talking about? I don't know. I need to stop. Eventually, I'll get my brother on here and we can talk about all this stuff, but it's not fun to do it in a monologue. I can't control my thoughts. And I want to be able to ask and engage. So I'll wait to talk about all that. But those are just some of the things that are like just casually floating around in here. What was I going to say about being a cowgirl? I don't know. There's nothing else to say. Maybe I'll live that out someday. Maybe you'll just see me wearing athleisure until I'm buried, in the, like, put me in the coffin in yoga pants, dude. I don't even do yoga, but love it. Love a good yoga outfit. Yeah. Another thing that I've been thinking about, and to be honest, I threw away a recorded episode that I did on this because I was crying. It was kind of emotional and wasn't really fun to talk about it. And that is my music. Why haven't I been making music? Where's your new music, Holly? Where's your shows? Well, let me tell you guys. Let's talk about my music. For the last 18 months, right now it's February of 2022. For the last 18 to 20 months, I have only played guitar for maybe a grand total of 1 hour. This is because I have a cyst that continues to come back and grow inside the left wrist. I use my left hand to grip the strings on the fret of the guitar to make the shape of the chord that you're playing. And the cyst that I have is called a volar ganglion cyst. It is growing inside the tendon sheath. So the tendons, I'm showing you on camera, but if you're listening to Spotify, you cannot see. This little wrist joint right at the end of the ball of my hand, there are a lot of really small tendons. All of our tendons require lubrication and moisture to function. Nobody loves a dry tendon, okay? So there's a sheath around your tendons that creates a fluid that keeps it lubricated so you can grip and move with ease. Inside that protective sheath that is supposed to lubricate my tendons in my wrist, there is friction from overuse, and that is creating an overproduction of fluid, which is then creating a cyst, which is then compressing on the tendons and the nerves in my wrist. So every single time I play guitar, I get an it's like fire. It's like fire, but it's also like a rock being shoved, like a chisel. Like, I cannot express the piercing pain of this cyst that's punching my tendons and my nerves every time I play guitar. I'm going to cry again because this is really frustrating for me. Music has been my other half, my first love, my hobby, my way to express myself since I was 5 years old. I started playing music when I was 5 years old. This is a really big this is a big thing for me, my music. And not being able to play guitar is it throws my entire identity into question. I have to laugh so that I don't cry. I am still a person without my music. I still matter. I still have a life without it. I just have never had to live it before until now, until the last almost 2 years. At the beginning of lockdown in March of 2020, I was like, this is my time. I'm going to record a bunch of music. We're going to be in lockdown for a month. This was back when we thought it was going to be like 2 to 4 weeks. Those were the days. And I did put a couple of things out on YouTube. I didn't have the equipment that I have now to like record songs. So I was just using my phone to record videos for YouTube. And I had surgery in August of 2019 to remove the cyst because it was unbearably painful. Every single day, it was, I couldn't think about anything else. It was so painful. Oh, God, holy. I'm trying so hard not to cry about it, but also, like, I can't help it. I avoid talking about it because of this reason. Because it's so fucking irritating. Why couldn't this happen to Ryan Adams, dude? That fucker doesn't deserve to play guitar anymore. Why couldn't he get it? Anyways, I'm frustrated and wondering, like, why does this have to happen to me? I paid $4,000 to have this cyst surgically removed. It's considered elective because I can work. I can do my job. It, like, typing doesn't hurt. Using my phone doesn't hurt. The only time that this cyst hurts me is when I play guitar, which feels like a goddamn fucking punishment. So I just don't play. I still, like, I want to. I think about it every day of my life. I write lyrics on my phone. Sometimes I'll just sing into my voice notes if I have a song idea. But I can't execute any of it. And if you're wondering what avenues I could try to mitigate this, let me tell you that I've tried everything. So I had surgery. I have a wrist brace. I have tried CBD. I have tried kinesiology tape. I have tried asking other people to be my guitarist and help me write my songs. Nothing has panned out for me. It may not seem like I'm feeling a little uncomfortable with with the emotional reaction that I'm having right now. Because the rational part of me, the like avoidant part of me is like, this isn't that big of a deal. You know, I want to talk myself into thinking this isn't that big of a deal, but obviously it is. Obviously it bothers me. And I just had to be okay with that. I don't have Kleenex at my desk. And there's a lot of tears running down my face right now. I thought for sure I could talk about this without crying, but I guess not. Um so yeah, it's not it's not that I don't want to write music. It's not that I don't have ideas. It is a torture chamber wherein I pick up my guitar and then I get a piercing pain in my wrist and I can't grip the neck. Um which is a critical function of playing guitar. And I know that there are other instruments. I have other instruments. I can play other instruments, but to say that it's not the same feels like a gross understatement because it's not the same. I think anyone who's a musician knows that you have your instrument and nothing is as good as your instrument. So it is what it is. I don't know what to do. I can continue to have surgery. Oh, I guess I didn't explain. I had it surgically removed and I was fine. August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. And then about the summertime of 2020, it came back with a vengeance. The cyst grew back in the same place. And I called my hand surgeon and I said it came back. It's really hurting. And they said, well, because of COVID, blah, 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 we're not open right now. We're only taking emergency situations. So I said, this is not an emergency. Don't worry about it. And I never called back because I know in the first surgery I had to go under anesthetics. So I was completely out. And then they had to do a really careful surgery on my wrist, which is tiny little pieces of the body. The surgery is a risk because of the anesthesia, going under every single time you go under. It's kind of a risk, honestly. And then the other risk is every time they go in, they can only go into that scar tissue so many times. And they can only move your tendons and your sheath so many times. And every time you do it, it's a risk for permanent damage. They can permanently sever a tendon or a nerve on accident. So the risk seems really high for me, not to mention it's considered elective. This is America, and America doesn't care about actual healthcare. We care about profit. And because my cyst does not prevent me from working, it's technically just an elective surgery. The pain only prevents me from pursuing my hobby, and that's not good enough for insurance to cover it. So my option is to pay $4,000 out of pocket every time I want the surgery, and then I have to deal with the scar tissue and the risks involved with anesthesia and the risks of having your tendons fucked with every, it's it's just not good. It's not a solution. I don't know what the solution is. I don't I try not to think about it too much. Obviously, it's upsetting. And I do have to give a shout out to my friend Paul, who gave me a MIDI keyboard to try and make music through a MIDI keyboard. I will say, like I said earlier, it's not the same. I don't like making music on a computer. I like the physical expression of using my hands to make art. I'm just choking back the tears. I'm probably gonna have a waterworks after this and go wash my face. But yeah, I was 5 years old when I started piano lessons. I did years of piano lessons and I played piano up until I picked up a guitar at the age of 14, my brothers had learned to play, my dad could play guitar, and I felt left out, so I asked them to teach me, and it was love at first sight. You know in the movies when like the main character like meets the love of their life or like finds the purpose, or like it's the light bulb moment in the movie where the person has been united with their thing. That was it for me when I was 14 and I picked up a Yamaha acoustic guitar. That was the thing. The light went on, the sparks flew. It was like, this is this is what I was meant to do. God damn, this is so hard. Okay, I had to take a little intermission to get a Kleenex and gather myself. I gave myself a little pep talk in the mirror. What I wanted to say was that I have been forced into a position that I never even considered was possible. This never crossed my mind. For my whole life, my greatest fear, when people are like, what are you most afraid of? Sharks or snakes? My greatest fear has always been an accident in which my hands are permanently damaged. A car accident, somebody accidentally chopping some of my fingers off. Like, I don't know. It's been my greatest fear to have anything happen to my hands. And I've always said, what will I do if I can't play guitar? Like, what's the fucking, like, what am I supposed to do? Don't take my hands. So I'm in that position. I'm living my greatest fear. So not only that, but I also, being a songwriter is an intrinsic part of my identity and how I express myself. I don't feel like podcasting is my thing. This isn't it for me. This is just an alternative to keep me sane. And obviously it's barely even doing that. Because I'm fucked up. But I'm sad. I'm hurt. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I feel like this isn't fair. And it seems so like minor on the scale of life issues. People have chronic illness, like people are losing their lives and losing really important things. Like, there's obviously bigger problems in the world, but this one has shaken me to my core. I miss playing shows. I miss writing songs on the guitar after work every day. I miss just picking up the guitar and recording a voice note really quick when I have an idea. I miss expressing myself in song form. It was something that I felt was a calling on my life. And it's like the whole tripod of it. Singing, songwriting, playing. Those three components are what bring it together for me. Writing the music, singing the music, playing the music. I know I don't have to do all three. I know that. I know I can just sing, just play the piano, if I have to hear one more goddamn person say, can't you just play the piano? Yes, I can play the fucking piano. Like, it doesn't fix what's wrong. I'm sorry. I'm having a fucking outburst. I need to talk about this in therapy. I know that. It's not for anyone to solve. I don't want anyone to be like, I'm so sorry. Like, I know. We're all sorry. I'm fucking sorry. I know. I don't want sympathy. I don't want pity. I don't want bullshit solutions. The only thing I haven't tried is to cleanse my entire body of inflammation by eating only fruits and vegetables. So I can eat an anti-inflammatory diet that is no sugar, no gluten, nothing inflammatory, blah, 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 and see if that cures the cyst on its own. I know that I need to do that. That's my literal last resort before I lose my goddamn fucking mind. But that is also hard because here we go. Here's the therapy session. Because when I'm distressed, when I'm depressed, when I'm angry, when I'm hurt, when I'm sad, I go to food to feel better. Sour Patch Kids cures everything for me. So the thing that I use to soothe my emotional pain from this situation is the thing that could be potentially making it worse or preventing me from healing. It's a fucking situation. I don't need anyone's comments. I really it seems stupid to put this episode out there and be like, please don't comment on it. But I'm obviously sensitive. I'm sensitive about this. And I'm sharing it because I think that it's good for me to talk about it. And I think it could potentially be relatable, not necessarily like the specifics of having a cyst in your wrist, but like being robbed of the one main part of your identity and your one true love. Like, I feel like that's kind of relatable. That's happened to more than one person. And I just want to say, like, if you are in that position, me too. I'm right there right now. And it fucking sucks. It sucks. You know, I've been doing a lot of things to escape from thinking about this. And now I understand, like, why. I'm like, oh, this is why I'm struggling with my weed consumption, because I like to be numb. I like to check out from feeling like this, and the crippling, the overwhelm, this just like, I am overcome with anger and grief and frustration. And I don't think it's supposed to make sense. I think there are lots and lots of things in life that don't have answers and that don't make sense. And I think this is one of them. There is literally no known medical cause and no known medical cure, and everything that I do to fix it will be my own idea or something I've learned on the internet, or like the doctors basically just say, we don't know what causes it and we don't know how to fix it. And it's so stupid. It's like this some stupid little sack of fluid in my hand. And there's bigger things going on. You know, people are trying to cure cancer. They're not worried about this, you know, which I get. That makes sense. Like, cancer is obviously more important. But I'm hurt, you guys. I'm fucked up about this. And honestly, I did not want to get emotional. I wanted to be a bad bitch about it. I wanted to be strong, and I'm not. I'm angry. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But I hope that people understand. I don't know what to do, but I hope that people can understand why I haven't been putting out music. And it's not like I want people to stop asking or something. Like, I don't feel like, a lot of people ask. I'll tell you that. I told my therapist this. Like, people ask me all the time, oh, have you been making music? Like, you haven't played in so long. Like, when's your next show? Are you going to play Instagram Live? Like, I do get asked on a regular basis by people from all over my fucking life, from, like, old friends, new friends, people at work. Like, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows this part of me, and I get asked a lot about it, and I just say, oh, I'm just dealing with some, like, wrist issues, and I keep it very vague and casual. Obviously, it's not vague and casual. Internally, I'm in agony about it, and that seems like an overreaction, kind of, but also, like, is it? I don't fucking know. I don't think that we should judge something like this as right or wrong. So I'm not judging my reaction. This is how I actually feel about it. I'm fucking livid. I don't know. I have some things to work on. I need to work on my relationship with food. I have I would say I have it's a fucked up cycle, because my next step that I need to take to solve this problem is to very significantly restrict my diet. I already have a precarious relationship with food. Some might call it disordered eating, and that's dangerous territory for me to go to super restrictive, because bad things happen to my mental health when I do that. So I have to figure it out. I got to figure it out. How can I balance, two of my greatest struggles? Music and food. I don't know. Two of my greatest issues and two of life's greatest gifts to us is music and food. Anyways, God, this feels really vulnerable, and I honestly don't know how much of this I'm going to leave in after I edit, because I feel kind of embarrassed about having a meltdown. But I also feel very strongly about being real and keeping it real and, like, blah, blah, blah. This is the kind of bullshit that those influencers would never show. And therefore, I will show it. I'm the anti-influencer. Yeah, I think I need to go, because I need to, like, process some of this and go wash my face and cry a little bit more. And I'm probably gonna smoke weed, because that's what I've been doing to calm myself down when I feel like this. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's what I'm doing. Anyways, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thank you in advance for not judging me and not giving unsolicited advice in the comments. My response is, yeah, I know. Okay. All right, have a good one. See you guys next time. Later.